Hello, I'm Neil Quigley and welcome to my short weekly comedy podcast. I've noticed a lot of polls on social media saying this will divide the nation on things like the colour of a cup of tea or what a bread roll is called, seemingly missing the fact that the whole nation has already been split by a big poll a couple of years ago with much bigger consequences than milky tea. Does anyone else see the slight irony in it being initially 7 MPs who left the Labour Party? Hi ho, hi ho. Did they feel dwarfed by the party leadership? A House of Commons report criticises Facebook over fake news, totally ignoring some of the rubbish that its members have been putting on Twitter, not to mention on the side of buses. 8 Labour MPs have left the party as they felt it had moved too far to the left, and 3 Conservative MPs have left their party as they think it's moved too far to the right. It's like the story of Goldilocks, except we all get eaten by the bears. The number of people employed in the UK has hit a record high this month, and that's despite 11 MPs resigning in the same week. The Prime Minister was in Brussels this week, probably making the most of the Eurotunnel before Brexit and the French brick it up. Paris is one of the fashion capitals of the world, yet everyone there is currently wearing yellow vests. When I saw the headline, Hammond's visit to China is not going ahead, I presumed the Grand Tour team had just been racist or sexist again. Either that, or with sushi being a favourite dish out there, the producers thought that there would be a lack of hot food for Jeremy Clarkson. Turns out it was just a story about the Chancellor. Images have been released of x-rays from some of the animals at London Zoo. They should do the same with MPs so we can see how many of them do actually have a backbone. Regulate everything but us, says the government. Donald Trump always seems like he's just one speech away from announcing he's building a Death Star, and you just know he will leave it one fatal flaw, meaning if you blow that up, it will destroy the whole structure. Children have been criticised for taking the last day of term off school to protest against climate change. Not enough credit has been given for the sacrifice they made for this. They all gave up the chance to bring in their favourite board game. Rail operators want to change the current ticket system to something more confusing as they're worried we've worked out the current system and noticed how inexplicably expensive most journeys are. The 1975 won 2 big awards at the Brits, meaning even the music industry favours a country inspired by the 70s. Greggs' January profits this year are up thanks to their vegan sausage rolls. Looks like Piers Morgan will have to eat some vegan humble pie. The Flat Earth Society appears to be weirdly gaining more supporters. Surely all you need to do is to ask them to explain how the sun and the moon, and therefore the days and the nights, actually work under their theory. Parents upset at Fortnite Festival as it turns out it's not an actual computer game and there are real people there, meaning queues and human interaction is required. Over 800 knitted monks have gone on display at Tewkesbury Abbey. They were made by compulsive local knitters, but I guess there are worse habits. 16 people got trapped on a ride at SeaWorld in San Diego, giving them a real-life experience of what it's like to be one of the animals there. Business experts warn that as our shopping habits change, our city centres could become ghost towns, which means the specials could be better fortune tellers than Mystic Meg. Fashion designer Karl Lagerfeld has sadly died. His funeral will take place in London, Paris, New York and Milan. A 107-year-old man from Devon has said the key to a long life is moderation. That's all very well, but what's the key to a happy one? Formula 1 teams are testing their cars in Barcelona this week. I've always found driving in Europe testing. I think it's because you're on the wrong side of the road. The Henley Standard is dropping the Dear Sir at the start of its letters page feature after a complaint the practice was sexist, despite the fact the editor answering the letters is a man. Maybe we should just start all letters with Dear No Specific Gender. I mean, the person complaining, she even had the cheek to sign off her letter as a Ms. That's it for my comedy podcast this week. Thanks very much for listening. Have fun.